Why, hello, folks. Chris Panic here. If I'm talking a little low, it's because I'm not feeling the super best, so I can't speak much for pre-release tonight. But the one thing I will do, I got one. I got one. I mean, there might be another one coming, but we'll see. I will plan on doing one video, but for now, I have this one pack, and I kind of don't want to open it. It's almost like the Ring. I'm just going to hold it and just look at this forever and ever and ever. But no, I decided, just because, you know, kind of missed out on a little bit of the shenanigans and whatnot, but hey, why not? I'm going to cap out my night by seeing what's inside of here. All right, let's do this real quick. Just wanted to do this at least on camera just because, I don't know. It's the first one that I'm opening, and I'm hoping it's going to be the best one. I'm not going to be opening very much of this set, at least as far as collector boxes. The price is just way too high. If they come to a better price point, then we may consider. But hey, this will give me some practice for when I do actually open the box. So, all right. So first thing, usually I get stoked on the tokens, but these are whatever. We got the Wizard and a hero. We'll set that aside over here. We'll do that. All right, so the first thing we got here is we got Leviathan. The Esper, the summon, whatever you want to call it. Been in many Final Fantasy games. The Guardian Force, whatever. This particular one is from Final Fantasy 15, which I haven't played. I'd love to start talking about a lot of the lore and just Final Fantasy in general and be a nerd. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm going to be real quick. All right, so we got a Leviathan foil here. Oh, geez. And this is... Okay. So, Counterspell. All right, everybody loves Counterspell. These are the cards that I'm the most stoked about for the set. The Yoshitaka Amano art cards. If you didn't know, this artist did most of the art for the early Final Fantasy games. It obviously brings a lot of his nostalgia to me, somebody who's obviously older and played a lot of the older games. I think he did art for Final Fantasy X. I don't know about 12 and on, though. I'd have to look that up. I did fall off the franchise after 10. All right, so I'm kind of stoked. I got an Amano art card. So let's see what else we got here. Obviously no Ristic Study, because that's what everybody wants. We got Vaughn from Final Fantasy XII, the Street Thief. And then we also have, from Final Fantasy X, Speak of the Devil, we have Yojimbo, the summon from that game. I think Yojimbo was in Final Fantasy VII. I can't remember. I'd have to look this up. Maybe I'll start looking up some of the extra lore before I really get into the nitty-gritty. But I will be nerding out on this channel. And if you hadn't noticed, I have done a test stream because I'm going to do some live streaming of Final Fantasy games. I'm actually also thinking of like random games to make out of this. All right, so we got Avalanche of Sector 7, Biggs, Wedge, Jesse. I think everybody knows the Biggs, Wedge Star Wars reference that goes on here. Also, these characters, if you couldn't tell, the art is from the remake, not from the original because they're not blocked out, but yeah, it's a good reference point here. We'll set that aside. Don't know how to pronounce this one, Raban. I'm going to mispronounce a lot of these as I go through some of these openings. I also have my own way of pronouncing some of the cards, but we have Raban here, and that'll end it for our rares and really special cards, although there will be more special here. Final Fantasy 15 land, and let's get through here. Anima from Final Fantasy X, Seymour's summon. Not bad, pretty cool. Oh, sweet, Black Waltz number 3. I'm digging this already, the nostalgia. I actually just finished Final Fantasy IX for the first time. I started playing it years ago and never completed it, and I decided to finally finish it. I'm going to eventually start going through some of my old memory card saves just to see how many of them are still intact. But when I played Final Fantasy IX, I got all the way to the end and just fell off. And after playing it again, I think what happened is I started playing Kokobo Hot and Cold, and just drove me crazy. All right, Black Waltz number 3. Oh, okay. Final Fantasy VIII. I guess depends where you sit. Final Fantasy is interesting to me because it seems the fandom is kind of locked within which game came out of your generation. The first one I played was six. I was still in middle school, but I think I was getting into high school almost. Actually, maybe not. But that's when Final Fantasy VIII came out. I actually related to Squall a little bit more as a person, but whatever. And his Lionheart sword, his gunblade. The one thing I will remark here is it's really interesting that they they have the ability when it enters, it deals 2 damage. However, it's my opinion, it's just mine. I'm not a game designer for Wizards of the Coast, so it feels like this should have been when this creature, when equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, or to a player or creature, you may pay 2, and it deals an additional 2 damage or something like that. All right. All right, so we got the alt art Anima, and here's a regular art Anima. And look at that, we got the delivery Moogle. I did not play Final Fantasy 14, but Final Fantasy 9 had Mognet, so this is a carry on from that. Speaking of Final Fantasy 9, Treno, if you did, was it Triple Triad? I can't remember the exact name of the card game from 9, but obviously it was there. You had the auction house, all that other fun stuff. I don't know if that's even visible anymore, but hey, whatever. I'm not a pro. I think if you've watched my videos, you probably know this. Cornered by Black Mages. Don't know exactly what scene this would have been from, but it's Final Fantasy 9. And and of course the rescue mission from Final Fantasy 7 when Shinra was deciding to destroy the pillar, and I'm pretty sure that's the scene. Like, I'm totally getting this wrong. Oh, interesting. It's got a ding on the top corner. Ooh, I got to be careful when I open these. I will definitely, obviously, be very careful. But yeah, right before they were deciding to drop the plate. All right. I just did that for the fun. I'm hoping to get more. Hopefully I'll feel better soon. Expect a video at some point from me. Thanks, everybody who watches.